It's no secret that world class cubers have amazing inspection capabilities. They can plan X crosses, cross plus one, double X cross, you name it, in inspection, and very quickly too. And you're probably wondering, how can I get to that level? Well, in this video, I'm going to attempt to break down to you how you can get to a world class inspection level in 3 steps. Getting straight into it with the first one, which is considering more options. So what I mean by considering more options is considering more ways of solving your cross. So the way I like to do this is basically to find a basic option, so a very basic way of solving your cross. So if I have a scramble right here, and then I just find a very basic solution. So for here, it just might be literally L, F2, D prime, F, D prime, and then like insert the edge. And you just want to find something very basic like that, and then once you have that basic option, you want to then build out of it and iterate that solution. So to iterate it, you've kind of got 3 main options of how you can do it. You can either add in like an extra 1 or 2 moves to create a block or a free pair, which that counts as its own iteration, right? You can change the way you're solving the edges of the cross, so you can like change the triggers you're using, or you can solve those edges in a different order. And those are all different ways that you can kind of pick between to give you a different way of solving that cross. And I'll put a table on the screen right now of how many options you should try and find per, like depending on how fast you are, per inspection, like for your solve. So if you're like sub 12 for example, you should try and find 4 options. And the way I like to do this is to give yourself more inspection time than you usually have, so maybe 15 to 25 seconds of inspection to try and find those 4 options. And then you want to find your basic one, and that's your first one. And then you want to try and find maybe around 3 iterations, or if you're white, yellow, or full CN, you can try and have a look on a different color as well. And they also then count as options, obviously. And then once you've got your 4 options and you kind of have them all kind of in your memory, then you want to try and figure out what the best one is. So you want to, in terms of finding the best one, you want to find one that has the lowest move count with the easiest finger tricks and makes it, those moves are the easiest to see where the pieces will move to, right? So those are the sort of criteria you want to work around. And then once you've got that cross solution, we can move on to the second step, which is planning faster. So to plan faster basically means to be able to find those options faster than you are currently. And there's basically only one way to get faster at this, which is basically just to do a lot of it. And there is one way though that you can, like, it's basically repetitions equals results, but there is one way that you can get faster at this quicker, which is to push yourself slightly out of your comfort zone. So if you can comfortably plan your cross, like one option for your cross at, say, maybe I'll just do this on yellow, this speed, then you would want to try and push yourself just out there so that you're maybe like slightly guessing where those pieces will be. So if you can comfortably plan it like alright like that, then you want to just go slightly faster, so you have to kind of maybe guess where this piece will end up or something like that. And because then you're slightly guessing, it allows you then to verify where, if you were correct or not, as to where that piece would end up. And then if you verify it and you're correct, then that you won't notice this consciously, but subconsciously then you'll realize, okay, well, with that set of moves, this piece here moves to that. And then next time you get that, you already have like a sort of idea of where that will be. And then over time, as you get these cases more and more and more through more repetition, it basically becomes like this second nature. It's just like subconsciously you just know where the pieces will end up, which is where you want to try and get to. The third thing is to plan further, and I'm sure this is what all of you are here for. There's the double X crossing, cross plus 1, cross plus 2, you name it. And to plan further, you basically want to know where the pieces of your next left world pair will be, where your pieces of your X cross will be or whatever, and you want to know how to solve them. So to do that, you basically want to be able to track them in your inspection as fast as possible so you can know where they'll be. And to do them, again, similar to the planning fast stuff, to be able to see where the pieces of your F-wall pair will be faster, you simply need to do a lot of it, and you need to try and push yourself out of your comfort zone. But you can do it slightly differently, where you want to actively think about how the moves are affecting the pieces in that, which you'll need to do if you're tracking this kind of diligently in your solutions. So I'll put a table up of how many pieces you should try and find, like track in your inspection, depending on how fast you are. And then once you know what number that is for you, then you should try and, once you've figured out what cross solution you're going to do from step 1, you then want to find that amount of And then you want to track how the moves of that cross will affect them. Even if you don't actually solve them as your first pair for this stage, you just want to know where they'll end up. And over time, knowing where the pieces will end up will build this kind of subconscious knowledge of where pieces will end up depending on what moves you do. And that's the way you want to end up at, because even if you just start at like one piece, you just track where one piece will be. If you know where that one piece will go really well, then once you move on to maybe two pieces, or just doing that one piece faster, then you'll be able to get there faster and faster and faster and faster, and you'll be able to plan more and more and more. And you might be thinking about, what about X crosses? And X crosses are very, very similar. It's just this time, rather than solving them after, you're solving them during the cross. So you just want to find the pieces, and then rather than thinking about where they'll end up after the cross, you want to think about places that they'll end up during the cross, and then how you can exploit that position to easily solve a pair before you align the cross. That's the simplest way of thinking about X crosses from there. And after all, an X cross is an extended cross, so it's not as complicated as you might think. Some easy ways of doing an X cross are just key holding in an edge or a corner, adding in like a few extra moves to create a block that then you can solve for the X cross, or maybe changing the order of some moves to just make a pair solve itself or whatever. And that's basically how you can do X crosses. So that's basically all of it for planning further, planning faster, and considering more options. Those are the three main ways you can develop world-class planning capabilities. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.